All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. We are continuing our weed sector technical analysis videos looking at sundial, SNDL, not sandal, as well as high tide. Okay, so look, I was very much happy right here when it looked like it was going to break all the moving averages. Very much talked about confirmation, and you can see why, right? Okay. We'll get to the details shortly, but real quick, what are we going to do today? Same thing we always do, right? We're going to look at the daily and the weekly to see how things are setting up. We have our 5 moving averages, the horizontal support and resistance lines I do draw manually myself. And then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, if you can please like and subscribe, it does really well with YouTube. Otherwise, I sincerely appreciate your time, all right? And if you disagree with anything, please let me know in the comments, all right? I am not all-knowing or perfect. I got no crystal ball here, but I would much rather you tell me I'm wrong than me get my money wrong in the market and just go down the toilet, right? So two-way street here for real. So let's get into the details, okay? Zooming out real quick, you have the one moving average up here, all 4 right there. When you are under all 5 moving averages, it's the same thing I said with Tilray and ACB on the last video. Same thing I'm going to say here. And I don't think high tide, but I don't remember, to be all honest. But when you're under them, all bad things happen. And look, it went from 230 pretty much to 2 in a quick heartbeat, right? That's a little bit more than 10% in a couple days. I said this on the last video as well. The sector did really well right here, and I could not find any news to justify it, you know? And I think if it was more justifiable, it would have probably broken a couple lines. But really, all I see it as is just kind of a comeback to the 8, go back with the 8, and now the question is just going to be, are you going to go bounce up, or as we kind of see here, it's lost it already, right? It's now back under, right? This was a decent break. That's a horrible confirmation. Yeah, it's technically up for sure, right? But look at the wick right there, right? Look at that gap fill right there that could have, right? Red very quickly could be green. And someone up here for sure thought that and then watched it come all the way back, right? So that's horrible, right? If it ended up closing anywhere around here, I would have been real happy, right? But yeah, all it does is what I essentially call a little pop and drop. Like, this is why, again, going back to this one right here, right? Getting over all 4 is for sure no joke. Seeing the gap from the 100 to the 200, right? Like, the way it works is once you break this, you break that, then break that, then that, right? I mean, it's real easy to see this and be like, all right, we're about to go there, but you gotta wait for confirmation. You see it doesn't happen there. It's real easy to see it break this line, to see this trail of red and jump in here instead of wait for confirmation and you know, avoid this, right? So I promise I'm not saying that stuff for no reason. And I know it sounds like I'm telling you, let some profit pass, right? But it's more than this thought of missing out profit. Like, we're looking for sustained uptrends. You know what I mean? So, and yeah, look, at this point, I got nothing to do but be pessimistic, right? We are once again under all 5 lines, right? The first one's up there. We clearly close under the 8, right? I'm waiting to see what tomorrow's confirmation does, but man, sundial at one point was this like meme stock go crazy thing. At this point, I don't know what happened, but there isn't the volume to save it. And I mean, look at this weekly chart. This probably is one of the ugliest weekly charts we've seen, because we haven't even been remotely close to the 50. We've just literally been under the 8 and the 20 for a long time. All right, we're coming up on a year, actually, more than a year. Look at that, well more than a year. Oh my goodness. The last time was April 21. Is that April 21? We're coming up on basically 2 years under those 2 lines on the weekly. I'm telling you, nothing good will happen, right? And that's nice, but there's no confirmation behind it. That's nice, no like I'm telling you, right? So that's nice, no confirmation behind it. When you have a bad weekly, you cannot expect anything on the daily. Where are we? So we're up here. There's still a ways away before we get to all-time lows, but look at where we're sitting, okay? We're on this line and there's only two left. Below us is nothing more than a string of red and one big green. Losing 199 is actually going to be pretty devastating. And look, we've bounced once, we've bounced twice, a couple times, but we'll just call it twice. We've bounced three times. I don't want to bounce a fourth time. I for sure don't want to bounce a fifth because my back of the head number is five times on a line down or five times on a line up. You probably are going to break it. Like, look at this one, right? One right there, two right there, three right there. That's kind of the fourth and go on, right? I didn't count any of these wicks, but five is roughly that number where you should break the resistance or you should lose the support, right? So 199 really is a huge, huge number, okay? I know it's still a good distance from all-time lows, but it looked like there were some quick elevators and escalators that we will fall on, you know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, there's not much more I got to talk about. We already talked about the weekly being under the lines, and yeah, this daily is under all the lines, right? So that is Sandal. Again, we are now three stocks in. All three are not looking good. That's not what I want to see, right? I need the sector to do well. Damn, this is what happened to high tide. Look at that. Okay, so look, again, same words. I'm not going to repeat it too much. Under all five moving averages, bad things happen. Really, for no reason, we've now seen them all make a good little like run on these two dates. But again, this actually never even got over the 8, right? It looks like this one opens on the 8. Yeah, you can see it opens at 146. That's where the 8 was, 146, right? Actually wicks up just a little bit, but barely, right? And just comes down. So high tie, well under the 8. This is a bad doji right here because with that doji, I'm seeing a pretty bad MACD that's now in the negative. I'm seeing an RSI that's ready to drop down even more. 23 is definitely low, right? Like general rules are between 30 and 70. If you're under 30, you're probably oversold. But again, I don't like that the green is kind of telling me, hey, I've got room to go down a little bit more, right? How low has this thing been? What was this one? This one was at 15. So there's definitely still a little bit more room for it to go down, and that wasn't too long ago. But yeah, under all moving averages, I don't like, and that's, I mean, a textbook doji right there, right? So under 50% of this candle, well under that entire candle. Man, high tide. Look, I know this one has a lot of fans that watch this video, and trust me, there's nothing more I want to do than tell you guys, hey, this is looking great. Like I've said it in the comments. This is actually one of the stocks that I have $0 and 0 cents in, but I am for real like rooting for. But nothing good is looking here. And again, I'm very much disregarding these, right? Like we've now looked at 4 stocks. They all did this thing, right? And none of it was substantial enough to feel good. And I'm telling you, I don't think I saw any news behind it. So definitely real scary overall. And again, I mean, we talked about all those. Did I talk about the weekly? Didn't talk about the weekly, but look, I say it often, right? 3 types of trading. There is under the 8 and the 20. There is horizontal with the 8 and the 20. Hopefully, there is also up and you are above both the 8 and 20. This, unfortunately, is making it look like it's going down horizontal and then a little bit more down. And look, this RSI looks like it wants to go down. On the weekly, it's been in the 13. So there could be some weeks of pain. And is 139 all-time lows? It's not. Okay. Man, I mean, look, I'm not here to bring fear or like any of that, right? But there's a really good chance this thing can lose roughly 50% in a couple. Let's look at the monthly here real quick. What's your monthly look like? Man, cause see, look, well under the 8, tries to, okay, let's do it this way. Loses the 8, tries to break it here, clearly goes down, tries to go up, actually is on it. It kind of looks like if your monthly isn't good, your weekly can't be good. If your weekly's bad, your daily's going to be horrible, right? So look, it looks like the 20 wants to, like this, we've seen this on so many daily charts, right? That's what this looks like, right? That's what this looks like. That's what this looks like. And the problem is, this can last a few days. Can you imagine what it could do if it does it for months? And it's actually already been doing it for months, right? And again, nothing is going to happen until nothing good will happen until it gets over both, right? And then hopefully it stays away from both, not quickly comes back to the green and loses it, right? But I'm telling you, I don't make this stuff up, and I often say zoom out to then zoom in, right? But there's a sincere fear that there's a 50% loss on high tide. And one more time, I have no money in this. I'm not a short. You guys, I hope know that. But man, I would hate to be talking about this in the sense not too long from now. So be very, very careful. And look, like I always say, right, it starts with getting over these two key lines. If you're not over them, I mean, you can't really expect good things, right? You better do that on the weekly. You better be doing that on the monthly too, obviously, even though we talk about dailies more. But again, be careful here. I hope I'm wrong for your sake if you're in this. If you disagree, let me know in the comments too. But yeah, just giving you my opinions as I always do. Have a great one.